Hi guys, welcome back to the Chess Sisters YouTube channel, and in today's episode I'm going to be teaching you guys about pieces and how they move. Welcome. So on the chessboard there are 16 pieces on each side, the dark and the light side, and in those 16 pieces, if you add them together, they equal to 32 pieces. But all those 32 pieces, they're just represented by 6 pieces. And I'm going to name them right here. So we've got the knight, the bishop, the king, the queen, the rook, and the pawn. And I'm going to be teaching you how to move the pieces I've just mentioned so that you can know how they move. I'm going to start with the first piece, which is the rook, and it moves like a cross or like a compass. It moves north, south, east, and west. It also moves, as if I can retrace it, it also moves top, bottom, left, and right, just like a compass. I'm going to move on to the next piece, which is the knight. The knight moves like an L or a reverse L. So if to make it easier, you just point it to the direction you want to move and you count inside your head. 1, 2, then turn. 1, 2, then turn. 1, 2, then turn. Same procedure goes on inside your head. So if you don't say it out loud, if you move it inside your head counting 1, 2, turn, it will turn out being much easier just doing this, because you're counting inside your head. Try not to do illegal moves. The next piece will be the bishop. The bishop moves like an X. The bishop moves like an X, which is all the way from the top till the bottom. Top till the bottom. So it moves like an X. It can move backwards, but only moves in diagonals. Even knights can move backwards, and rooks can too. And earlier, as I was telling you about the knights, I forgot to tell you a point which is important for you to know. A knight can jump over pieces or skip over pieces. So, but skipping over them does not mean capturing them. The box you land in, if there was a piece, is when you capture. Till our next video, we will be teaching you about capturing. So you can tune in later once we post the video. So skipping is just easy. Or you just skip the piece while still counting the square. So it's just 1, 2, then turn. No matter if there is a piece here, you can still jump it, and the knight can move backwards. I'm going to move to the next piece, which is the king, and it's the most important piece on the board. So it only moves in one square at a time. So it moves forward, backward. So let me use like a compass because it moves like a full compass. So it's north, south, east, west, northwest, northeast, southeast, and southwest. So it just moves one square at a time in any direction. After I teach you about the 6 pieces, I'm going to show you the special move the king can do, which it is allowed to move 2 squares. Next, we are going to look at the queen. So as you can see, I've removed a lot of pieces on the board because the queen can move like the rook and the bishop all combined. So it moves in diagonals from top to bottom. From top to bottom. Also moves like a compass, north, south, east to west. So it just moves like the rook and the bishop. Next piece, it's just a bit tricky to learn about it. It's the pawn. So the pawn, when it's starting the game and you have not touched it, when it's just like this and white is starting, you are allowed to move the pawn and skip a square. Although technically pawns are allowed to move 1 square at a time, but if you have not touched the pawn, you can move it 2 squares but still continue moving it 1 square till the end. Or you can decide to move 1 square and continue moving 1 square till the end. So if I manage to go from 1 square, 1 square, 1 square till the end of the board, I have options of 4 pieces to promote to. Right here, the rook, the knight, the bishop, and the queen. So if I land on the E8 square, and square, 1 square, 1 square till the end of the board, I have options of 4 pieces to promote to. Right here, the rook, the knight, the bishop, and the queen. So if I land on the E8 square and I decide to promote to a rook, I will just place the rook right there where my pawn was last seen before I took it off the board. So in promoting, once I've put this piece here, I'm supposed to take the rook, the knight, bishop, or the queen, then remove the pawn, then place the rook right there. So we have learned about all the 6 pieces, and also since the pawn moves forward, it doesn't mean that it captures forward. Like the way the other pieces move is the way they capture other pieces. But as I said, our next video is when we are going to be teaching you about capturing. So as I said earlier, I was going to teach you about the special move that the king can do. So it is when it's allowed to move 2 squares. That is called castling. As we know, this is called a rook or a castle. So when a king is allowed to move 2 squares, it's called castling. There are not supposed to be any pieces blocking the castle. You're supposed to have removed all the pieces. You can castle short side or long side. So the long side, it's called the queen side because the queen is always right here next, so it makes it a longer side, and the shorter side is the king side. So king side castling and queen side castling. So here, when you are castling, you are not allowed to castle once you have moved a rook or your queen or your king. So you go 2 steps, still in your mind counting 2 steps. Then this rook jumps over your king and goes to the next square. That is king side castling. Then queen side castling is just the same, 2 squares, but this rook comes all the way to here, skipping this box, which is okay, landing next to the king.